Have you ever wondered how silence can transform your life? What if I told you that Carl Jung, one of history's greatest psychiatrists, believed that silence is the key to accessing the deepest secrets of our mind? In this video, we'll explore how silence can be a powerful tool for self-discovery, creativity, and well-being. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychiatrist, deeply explored the importance of silence and introspection in his work. Jung believed that silence is a powerful tool for self-discovery and understanding the unconscious. He emphasized the importance of listening to the inner voice and believed that by silencing the mind, we can connect with the collective unconscious in our own psychic depths. In Western cultures, silence is commonly used as a means of showing respect and retreat.
A prominent example in Dutch culture is the Silent March, a ritual that emerged from silent Catholic walks in Amsterdam. This Catholic tradition was a reaction to the prohibition of their processions by the Protestant establishment. A march in silence without prayer, singing, clothing, or religious attributes thus emerged as a new ritual that has survived to this day. As for silent marches, they are often a response to senseless violence. People react in a way that transcends the many empty words that circulate after a tragic event. And in our culture of noise, where violence occurs so frequently, the annual commemoration of the deceased similarly responds to the murder and homicide of all Dutch victims of wars and peace missions with 2 minutes of silence. It is silence that makes these events so powerful. There is no music, words, or singing to distract from the purpose. And when words are not enough, isn't silence the most appropriate response? The power of silence is versatile. Silence can transcend speech, speak without words, and complement where verbal language is insufficient. Remaining silent also has advantages in terms of creativity, mental health, spiritual and religious practice. It can provide an advantage in negotiations and can even be used as a form of intimidation. This video explores the benefits of staying silent according to Carl Jung and other renowned thinkers. The mystic and poet Rumi once realized that the quieter we become, the more we can hear. From his mystical point of view, listening is essential, as Rumi tried to approach God and hear a voice that does not use words. Carl Jung explored the importance of silence and introspection in his work. Jung believed that silence is a powerful tool for self-discovery and understanding the unconscious. He emphasized the importance of listening to the inner voice and believed that by silencing the mind, we can connect with the collective unconscious and our own psychic depths.
For Jung, silence is a bridge to the unconscious where repressed contents can emerge and be integrated into consciousness. By being quiet when we set aside all words, we open ourselves to other voices that were previously suppressed by constant verbal noise. These could be internal voices. Philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson called this internal knowledge. Jung frequently discussed the need to withdraw from the external world to hear the messages from our interior. A practice he called symbolic activity, the ability to create and interpret symbols that emerge from the unconscious. Jung believed that listening to these internal voices was essential for individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are. We could listen effectively if we remain silent, both inside and out. By keeping silent, we become receptive to our surroundings, paying attention to what our senses observe.
Through this, we learn and eventually become more intelligent and wise. If we refuse to remain silent, others might see us as ignorant. The ancient philosopher Pythagoras practiced years of silence, and similarly, Lao Tzu wrote, "Those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know." Staying silent helps us learn about our surroundings. It also helps us recognize dangers and opportunities that we would have ignored if we were too busy talking. But it also allows us to gather information about ourselves. The importance of self-reflection and silence is central to Jungian psychology, which encourages us to explore our dreams and fantasies as means of accessing the unconscious. Jung taught that by silencing our minds and listening to our interior, we can perceive hidden aspects of our psyche that are often suppressed by the noise and distractions of everyday life. He believed that by confronting these unknown aspects, we can achieve a greater understanding of ourselves and find a path to true individuation. Theoretical physicist Albert Einstein stated that silence stimulates the creative mind. When he couldn't find an idea, he simply stopped thinking and entered a state he called diving into silence. He simply waited for the right information to come to him. Therefore, like many other brilliant minds, Einstein spent much time in solitude, using silence to his benefit. As he himself said, the monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulate the creative mind. David Rock, executive director of the Neuro Leadership Institute, wrote an article stating that an open mind is a quiet mind. David investigated the so-called moment of revelation that people experience, during which a creative idea or solution emerges by itself. These moments of revelation involve weaker and less noticeable connections between neurons that are difficult to perceive when other stronger signals flood the brain.
Rock says, we have ideas when our general level of activity in the brain is low. This occurs when we're doing something that doesn't require much mental effort. When we focus on something repetitive or simple, or simply when we're more relaxed, like upon waking. Ideas require a quiet mind because they themselves are quiet. Therefore, it seems we need to create the right circumstances for our minds to quiet down for some people. This might mean taking a walk and engaging in repetitive forms of exercise, or listening to relaxing music. For others, like Einstein, it might be dwelling in silence and solitude. Many of the great minds of the past, such as Isaac Newton, Elizabeth Bishop, and Nikola Tesla, worked alone in quiet places. Carl Jung also recognized the value of silence for creativity.
He believed that the process of individuation, the path to becoming who we truly are, requires periods of introspection and solitude. Jung encouraged his patients to engage in creative activities such as painting or writing, which can be deeply nourished by silence and meditation. For Jung, silence allowed archetypal images to emerge from the unconscious, providing valuable insights and stimulating creativity. American author Mark Twain stated, "The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a pause made at the right moment." Academic research shows that silence in a conversation begins to feel unbearable after approximately 4 seconds. Melissa Dahl, author of several books and international speaker, wrote in an article that uncomfortable silences can be a powerful tool to get what you want. Melissa stated, "In the research for my new book, which deals with the psychology of discomfort, I discovered that uncertainty is a major factor in the unpleasant feeling of being uncomfortable. These are violated moments of life when there is no clear indication of what to say or do. It is a well-established finding in psychological research that not knowing tends to make people feel uncomfortable. So the uncertainty caused by such silences in conversations makes people feel uncomfortable and wonder things like, did I say something wrong? Does this person not like me? What's going to happen?" In this way, the person receiving the silence may make any decision just to end the discomfort of the uncertain void in communication. And this decision can be beneficial for the brave person who keeps silent at the right moment. Another benefit of remaining silent during conversations is that it's safer than speaking in some situations. Anything we say can weaken our position. For example, if we're part of a conversation on a topic we know nothing about. In such cases, it's more powerful to listen, not only because listening gives us the opportunity to learn, but also because we don't embarrass ourselves by trying to appear knowledgeable about something we actually know nothing about.
Additionally, keeping silent shows that we're interested and willing to listen, which people generally appreciate. The Roman writer Publilius Syrus once said, "I have often regretted having spoken, never having kept silent." Jung also highlighted the role of silence in human interactions, especially in therapeutic sessions. He believed that moments of silence could be incredibly revealing, allowing deep thoughts and feelings to emerge to the surface for Jung. The ability to endure silence and uncertainty was crucial for psychological healing, as these moments could open doors to parts of the self that were normally avoided or repressed. How can one take refuge from a noisy world and a noisy mind? Countless experiences of many different people throughout time tell us that silence helps us calm our busy minds.
A large amount of research suggests that silence relaxes the mind, improves sleep, and reduces insomnia. Additionally, one study found that 2 minutes of silence has a more calming effect than relaxing music. Other studies show that exposure to environmental noise increases levels of stress hormones and can cause disruptions in sleep structure. Florence Nightingale, an English social reformer and founder of modern nursing, wrote, "Unnecessary noise is the most cruel absence of care that can be inflicted on the sick or healthy." In an article for Psychology Today, author Michael Bond says that we've learned to tolerate noise and see it as something positive in our modern society. Noise means that machines are working, that all the technologies we've created are functioning. But in tolerating this noise, we're making a serious mistake. Noise kills, and this excessive input does real damage and is harmful to our ability to function an argument that is backed by a copious amount of studies. Therefore, to escape the unhealthy flow of information and noise, we need to incorporate silence into our lives. Moments of silence improve well-being and overall performance. Michael Bond in his article says the following: "What I really yearn for here is liberation, and liberation comes from emptiness. The emptiness of silence, of lonely landscapes, of closed eyes, of lying in a dark and quiet room. The decrease in tension that occurs when we go on vacation to somewhere quiet. The instant of zero gravity during orgasm. This emptiness cuts the incessant flow of constant information and allows us to recalibrate, think better, question for a second our baseline. Is it really important to do and understand all this?" Carl Jung was aware of the impact of silence on psychological well-being. He believed that silence and introspection were essential for individuation, the process by which a person becomes conscious of their psychic wholeness.
Jung advocated that by embracing silence, we can explore the contents of the unconscious, resolve internal conflicts, and achieve a state of balance and harmony. For silence is minimalist and empty, yet imposing and powerful. We cannot verbalize silence, but we all understand it. It is comprehensive, mysterious yet clear, uncomforting yet painful, idle yet useful, indulgent yet rebellious, and elusive yet accessible to anyone. Jungian psychology teaches us that by opening ourselves to silence, we can discover deep aspects of ourselves and find a path to true understanding and personal fulfillment. And so we come to the end of this exploration of the psychology of silence. According to Carl Jung, throughout this video, we've seen how silence is not just the absence of words, but a powerful tool for self-discovery, creativity, and well-being.
Jung taught us that silence can be the key to accessing the deepest secrets of the unconscious, providing a more intimate connection with our true essences. Jung believed that by silencing our minds and listening to our inner voices, we can discover hidden aspects of our psyche that are often suppressed by the noise and distractions of everyday life. He showed that silence is not just a form of retreat, but a path to individuation, the process of becoming who we truly are. By incorporating silence into our lives, we can not only improve our creativity and well-being, but also develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Whether through daily practices of introspection, moments of meditation, or simply allowing yourself a time of tranquility, silence can transform our lives in ways we never imagined. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the noise of the world, remember Jung's words and find a moment for silence. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.